Thank you for tuning in to our Retirement Education Center YouTube channel, where on this channel we believe in providing you unbiased advice to help you maximize all of your retirement income. Now, on our channel, we do not believe in providing you any silver bullet strategies or glorifying any type of one product. But what we do believe in are holistic concepts that will help you retire with confidence. As many of you may know, if you've actually tuned into our Tuesday tip, the Secure Act 2.0 is now the law of the land. But with any new laws, as you know, Andrew, there can be a lot of confusion within all the weeds of that particular bill. And one of the major things that I think people are getting confused about are all the different dates in which some of the implementations of some of the changes of the Secure Act 2.0 will be taking place. So today what we thought we might do is to make that a little bit easier for you, as we're going to organize some of the major aspects of this bill and their particular dates. So stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And we want to thank you for tuning in to our Retirement Education Concepts videos. These videos were created to help to make the difficult and confusing retirement process simple.
Absolutely, Andrea, because with so many retirement products out there, so many retirement strategies, and of course with so many retirement concepts, it can become very difficult for consumers to digest it all. That's why we're so fortunate that we work with a team of expert advisors to help us formulate a roadmap that's going to let our clients know when, where, and how they can reach their retirement goals.
For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos. Now, Carson, you recently did a Tuesday tip on the Secure Act 2 and noted many moving parts of that bill, but there seems to be a lot of dates all over the place, so help us out here today.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that, Andrew. That's why I'm doing this video, right? I want people to be educated and not frustrated when it comes to their retirement situation. And so today what I thought I might do is try to organize some of the major aspects of this bill and talk about the dates in which some of those moving parts will be implemented. But before we do that, there are always two rules to retirement income that we like to give you. And what are those two rules, Andrea?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money, and rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
All right, Andrew, so let's go ahead and talk about some of these dates and try to clear up some of the confusion around them.
So, Carson, the first thing that people should note is that the required minimum distribution rules are changing in the Secure Act 2.0. So, how will they know when and if they should take it?
Yeah, we can make it very simple here, right? That's what we're trying to do. So I'm just going to have these pop up on the screen. So if you're watching this video, all you simply need to do is replay this back and grab your pen and paper and write this down. So use these rules to know when you should be taking your required minimum distributions. So if you see on the screen here, use the age of 72, Andrew, to take your distributions if you were born in 1950 or earlier. So 1950 or earlier, use age 72. Now, if you were born between 1951 and 1959, use the age of 73 to take your required minimum distributions. And if you were born in 1960 or later, Andrea, your required minimum distribution age is age 75. So that's pretty simple. Use those dates in order to know when you should be taking your required minimum distributions.
All right, perfect. That was simple enough. So what's effective in 2023 now?
Okay, Andrea, in 2023, there are some things that are definitely going to be changing right away. The first thing that I want to point out is the onerous rule that used to be surrounding the required minimum distributions. It used to be a 50% penalty for failure to take your required minimum distributions at the appropriate time. The Secure Act 2.0 actually made some major changes in this area, and I'm sure many retirees are appreciating this. I always thought that rule was so punitive. Now, if you do not take your required minimum distributions on time, that penalty is 25%. But they will give you like a 2-year window in which you can file a corrected tax return, and that penalty can actually be reduced all the way down to 10%. Now, I will say this, that 50% penalty was not enforced harshly by the IRS. They definitely gave some leeway there if you had a legitimate excuse for not taking that distribution. But I will say this, that if you now forget or fail to take that distribution on time, going down from a 50% penalty down to a 10% penalty, Andrew, is a very welcome change for many retirees. Another major change that's happening in 2023 that I want to point out is in regards to simple and SEP IRAs, Andrea. Now, before the Secure Act 2.0, within a simple and a SEP IRA, which is typically retirement vehicles that are owned by self-employed individuals or small business owners, before the Secure Act 2.0, these accounts were not allowed to hold Roth IRAs. Well, that is now changing in 2023. You will now, Andrea, be able to have a Roth option within your simple IRA or your SEP IRA. So that is a very big change that I myself am very pleased to see. And one other aspect that I think is really important that's taking place in 2023 is your catch-up clause if you're the age of 50 and older, in which you can add to your retirement accounts. In 2023, that catch-up clause has gone from $6,500 if you're 50 and older to $7,500. So those are some notable changes, Andrew, that people should be marking on their calendar for 2023.
Now, this is really easy to follow now. So what are some of the changes that will happen in 2024?
Okay, so let's go ahead and move into 2024 because, as I mentioned, with this bill, they are stair-stepping things within it for implementation. So the major thing that I want to talk about in 2024 will be your catch-up contributions if you are between the ages of 60 and 63, Andrea. So in 2024, if you fall between those ages, your new catch-up contribution would be $10,000. Now, there is one little caveat to this. If you earn $145,000 or more, that catch-up contributions will be required to go into a Roth account. And that's okay. That's one of the ways that they pay for these bills. They want to go ahead and get the taxation on those dollars quicker. But you're putting that money in an after-tax account, Andrea. But when that money comes out, guess what? It's going to come out tax-free as well. And that's really what the ultimate goal should be, right? You want to try to get as much of a tax-free retirement as possible. I do want to point out, Andrew, that if you do make under $145,000, you can continue to make those catch-up contributions like normal into your qualified retirement account, into your 401k. But if you make over that, just note that that money has to go into a Roth account. But the big thing that you need to focus on is the amount of money that they are going to allow you to put away. Instead of $7,500, you can put an extra $10,000 into that account if you're between the ages of 60 and 63. Another major aspect that I want to point out around retirement plans, Andrew, is that in 2024, no longer will you be required to roll over your Roth 401k into an individual Roth 401k to avoid that required minimum distribution rule. So before the Secure Act 2.0, Andrew, if you had a Roth 401k, the rule was that you either had to start taking required minimum distributions, just like you would in your qualified account, unless you roll that money over into an individual Roth account. That will be no longer the case in 2024. Also in 2024, if you have student loan debt, this is where the student loan debt provision is going to start to be implemented. So if you do have student loan debt, your employer will be allowed to match whatever expenditures that you're actually sending towards that debt. So they can match you in your 401k according to what you're paying for your student loan debt. For example, Andrew, if you are paying $500 a month towards your student loan debt, your employer can now match you $500 into that 401k starting in 2024.
That's nice.
Absolutely, right? Because who wants to compromise, especially if you want to save for your retirement and you want to start right away? Well, you hate to have to compromise to say, I need to pay down my debt or pay into my 401k plan. Well, now you no longer have to make that decision in 2024. You'll be able to do both. Pay off your student loan debt and have your employer match you on the amount that you're paying towards that debt. Another thing that I do want to point out that's going to be probably beneficial, Andrew, for those of us who are not great savers, is that your employer is going to be able to set up an emergency fund within your retirement plan. So that means they can actually match you within that emergency fund. It can be in the form of a Roth account. And the biggest part about this, Andrew, is that when you have an emergency, when you take money out of your qualified account, you typically can be penalized if you're not taking it out as a loan. you can be penalized on that money of 10% if you're under the age of 59 and a half. And obviously you can also be taxed on those dollars as well. Well, the emergency fund is going to be set up differently to where you can actually take out that money without a penalty, and it also would not be taxable as well because it will be in the form of an after-tax Roth account. So be on the lookout for those type of things as well. If you're not able to save very well, this is going to be something that you're going to be appreciating. And the last thing, Andrew, that I want to point out when it comes to 2024 is the implementation of the 529 plan having the ability to be rolled over into a Roth account for any unused funds. For example, Andrew, let's just say, our kids decide not to go to college. Let's say we have, $25,000 sitting inside of a 529 plan wondering, what can we do with these funds now? What are we going to be able to do with it? Well, before the Secure Act 2.0, you could take those funds, but you will be hit with a penalty for taking it and not using it for any educational purposes, for educational expenses. But now with the Secure Act 2.0, you can actually roll over up to $35,000 into a Roth account for that beneficiary. To me, in my opinion, Andrew, that is one of the most welcoming changes that I think has been brought about with the implementation of the Secure Act 2.0.
Well, Carson, this was extremely helpful for me, especially getting those dates organized. That was really helpful. So thank you for your insight on this topic, and thank you for tuning in. And if you found this information was beneficial for you, please like this video and share with others.
So I really do hope that the information that we shared with you today would be beneficial in helping you organize the Secure Act 2.0. Please note that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for a fiduciary financial advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today.
For more information about this topic or any of the other topics that we've shared in our other videos, please feel free to reach out to our office or leave any questions or comments in the section below. After this video, please check out our other videos that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
we have answers.